knowledge graph where when you type about something, you get a knowledge graph. So this is where you could have a knowledge graph triggered for you. Of course, a right snippets, a right structured code or a schema has to be used on your website too. And as I talked about a position 0, these are some of the results you could do with the position 0. This is where it comes to paragraphs. So this is a paragraph feature snippet when you are typing for something. Again, I have given a snippets how you could optimize this. As I said, it will be available. You can use that. So just giving an example, this is a result 0. This is a result which talks about feature tables. So when you type about, this is the list model which comes in. And remember, this is not the first page result which is ranking 1. This is another one which is there. Sometime it does rank for number 1. This is another one for our example from our website. So most popular keywords on Google, that's the feature snippet you get for us. However, we normally rank number 3 for that and we still get a feature snippet. So that's something which I said, it's important. It's not longer just the first rank. How do I get traffic for this? So this post which I was talking about, most popular keywords on search engines on our blog, I'm just sharing the kind of results we have. This is it. So this is an old result, it would have increased. 92,000 people have visited this page. And look at the average positions and the impressions. This is just, that's it. Just a brief, you also can get this. So there are various tools. SEMrush does this well. Hrefs is another tool which you could subscribe for $7. It gives you 1 week. So I'm just going to take a snippet how you can do. So as I said, it's important for you to, if you want to be in featured snippet, it's important that you rank in some way. So how do you do that? Look for featured snippet that you are already ranking. Let's see how you can do that. You go to Hrefs. Let's say I type my domain name and this is the results which comes. If you see that serve features there, you could choose, if you do that drop down, it will give you an option of featured snippets. Just choose that and then it's going to give you all the results which have featured snippets. So these are the results for which I can actually rank in top for a featured snippet. How could you implement this? So if you want to be ranking for featured snippet, and it's not just think this way, okay, I'm not in top 10, I'm not gonna be in featured snippet. You have to make your content accordingly that when you come in top 10, because we all are working for rankings, that you also get to be in a featured snippet. So that means developing your content from day one accordingly. So just an example, how to implement a no follow, how to implement a no index tag. These are some of the questions you could have. Includes transcripts, which class outlines. So if I have a question and the answer just comes in a paragraph, that's not a good. Now again going back, if I have a question and it is under a list mode, that is good for 2 things. Not just for featured snippet, but also for rank, right? As we discussed, it's important that your dwell time increases. So this becomes important. The content should provide a lot more info than just the how. So you just can't have how and just think it to be ranking where. Very simple, identify a simple, there is a website can answer the question. You could go there, type a question, you could see what kind of questions are there. There might be a lot of results where people are not even aware of this. There might be some of the keywords where people are searching but nobody is ranking. So it becomes twice as valuable. You can rank for that keyword easily and you can actually get a featured snippet for free. How you could do that? Identify a simple question, provide a direct answer, offer value-added information, and make it easy for users to find. Of course, get a good link. That's what you do. Just a study, it says what kind of a featured snippets comes. So, how much words you need. So, for example, if you have a paragraph, a 44 words paragraph is good enough. If you have a list, at least 5 items should be. If you have a table, at least 4 to 5. And if you have an image, so these are all the data which you could use based on the study last. So these are some of these you can use when you are typing for content. The reason why I'm going to talk about, I'm going to summarize later, and there are at least 37 sub features which are available right now in search. Imagine, you could use all of them as per your likings. Now let's talk about mobile first index. I know it's a little bit more to digest. It's such a short session, but I'm just trying to give you a glimpse. You can go back and do more on these. Now the Google have last year launched a mobile first index. So what Google said that they are going to crawl your website first on mobile, then on the desktop. So what actually that means? That means your site has to be mobile friendly. No longer you can just say, okay, I have a site which is just going to work for mobile. Worldwide, more than 50%. In fact, as of just a couple of months, 60% of the Google search traffic comes through mobile. 60%. And none of us, I would say, how many of you, if we design a new page, design for mobile first? How many? See, less than 2%. So that becomes important for you to design your page in mobile first, then in a desktop. Non-mobile friendly site disappearing from the top results. So another one. So if you're having a mobile page and whenever somebody searches on a mobile and it takes to the home page of your website, that's a no-no. If your site is slow, as we talk, Google is less likely to rank it. That was July 2018 Google result. Having a mobile site is just that start. So you just can't say I have a mobile site, now what? User experience is very, very important. As we continue emphasizing, I've been through this whole presentation, user experience is more important. Mobile friendliness of top result. This was the last year, so you see how is the top result. So almost 68% are mobile friendly result. That's something which happened. Mobile friendly of my industry. Almost 80% of the retail industry has moved to mobile friendly. So you can see how mobile this are. Most searches occurs on mobile devices. To support their mobile devices, Google announced actually last year that they are rolling out mobile first index. So when their crawler comes, the first gonna crawl your mobile. Google will be looking primarily at the mobile version, then to determine ranking. So that becomes very, very important for you to be on. How to optimize for Google mobile first index? Make your content consistent. It's no longer you can just have m.yourwebsite.com. It doesn't work. Almost always recommended to have a responsive website. So that's very, very important. Just Google recommends, that comes from Google as well. Google also recommends the same. Just to going back, so this becomes important from a mobile version. And just because you have a mobile site, it also, because now Google gives you lots of warning through Google Search Console if your website is not mobile friendly. That becomes very, very important. So these are some of these things which are important. Now, just to summarize, but if I go back and I gave you an example how Google was found, basically they worked on a link. So a couple of years back, in fact 3 years back, Google did an experiment when they said that, okay, let's check out if we turn off our algorithm and say links doesn't count, how does the ranking come? And then from Google, from the horse mouth, they said they sucked. So basically what they say is that there is no way that the links are going anywhere. Link building is still going to be your number one SEO hack, because whatever the previous page I talked about, unless you're gonna rank, none of this will work. And to rank, you still need links. As I talked about, Google is not going away, giving away links. The links are very, very important to the whole present scenario. And they're gonna be, the link signals are changing. So again, there are different types of links. You can just go out and buy a link, or you can just go out and have a link from any other irrelevant website. You can't just go out, so if let's say I'm looking for a skin specialist in Hyderabad, I can have 20 links with a skin specialist in Hyderabad. That's not gonna work. You need to have branded keywords. You need to have a lot of combinations coming to your website. So believe me, if I have to rank you for a keyword like skin specialist Hyderabad, and if I say this is gonna take 50 links, I would not even have more than 5 links with that exact anchor text. That's how. I would rather have more brand keywords. So when this Google Penguin update came in 2012, suddenly our website Pagetraffic started ranking for almost 3,000 keywords overnight. I did nothing. We never did any SEO for our website then or till now. And we still rank. 7 years later, we still rank for almost all keywords of our industry. And the only one reason is because when we built links, we never had keywords in mind. If you go back and check Pagetraffic's profile for links, you would find most of the keywords are branded keywords, but coming from a relevant website. So I blog a lot. So I blog on Search Engine Review, Search Engine Watch, ClickSee, I have a lot of websites. But none of these places I put as an anchor text. So it's important you don't just build links thinking if my anchor text is, for example, web hosting, Hyderabad, and I need to get keywords for that. Doesn't matter. Yes, your content should be about web hosting. Your page which you are getting a link from or a website should be about web hosting, but nothing beyond that. It's no longer important to rank to link back with a particular keyword. And I am a live example, 7 years, not done even now, consciously. Somebody sometime gives is okay, but consciously we have not gone ahead and done that too much. We do keep certain percentage, but you see 70. And second thing is, it's no longer important you just go after a do follow or a no follow. You understand a do follow and a no follow link, right? So it's no longer important you just go for a do follow link. Citing my example again, almost more than 50% of our links are no follow. That speaks volume that it doesn't even matter. Because a natural website backlink profile has to have a no follow and a do follow. Because when you have a natural website which everybody is linking to, you can't control how somebody is going to link back, right? You can't tell them, link me. I mean, if you like me and you refer me, can I say, okay, please give me a do follow link? Nobody does that in a real world. Google just is copying the real world scenario, and they think if you are popular, that means you would have a mix of no follow and a do follow. If you only have a do follow links, that is actually a sign of worry, because that is very, very unnatural. That means your site can actually get penalized. So you need to have a mix of both of the links. So that's why just links are important for you guys. But that's where I'm going to just summarize and end it here. Which ways, girls? These are just the kind of periodic of link building. So these are different type of links you could have. Again, you could have directories. So most of these links, again, so if I just talks about directory, you just can't go pay $5 on a Fiverr and get 100 directories. That's not the directories I'm talking. So if you are a web hosting company, you go on a web hosting directories which are not easier to get links from. Remember, if I have to find a value of a link, forget this everything which I'm taking. If I have to find one value, does this link provide me value or not? If it's easy to get, it provides no value. So if I go to a website which says, submit your link here and get a free link, not gonna work. If they make me work, because that's just because it means there is an editorial control over it. If you go to a website which is FFA or free for all links, doesn't work. If I go to a blog and comments blah 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 with us, doesn't work. You need to have something which makes the links earning. So it's not a free link. You can't just go in a Fiverr and say, okay, I have 500 links. According to this periodic table, I needed directories. Okay, directories done. Then I need blog.